Years ago when Mr. T moved to Lake Forest, Illinois, he started a controversy when he got out a chainsaw and started cutting down all the trees on his property. Mr. T apparently had allergies. Perhaps he should have considered that before moving into an area known for native life and trees. Behind every tree, there's probably a tree hugger, and in front of every tree, probably somebody trying to cut it down. We can't all be for everything and against everything all at the same time. It's a tenuous balance. They say it's hard to see the forest for the trees, especially when you're deep, deep into it with a chainsaw. Welcome. Welcome to Illinois Bridging Awareness. I'm Stanley Smith. We all need to pick our battles for good and for worse. Perhaps we need to recalibrate just a little bit better to exercise our awareness of choice. We all have our logical selves and our more intuitive selves. Some describe this as being more left-brained or right-brained thinking, the left being more logical and the right being more creative. While it might be true that there are different types of thinking, the idea that it's determined by one side of the brain versus the other apparently is unfounded. Last week, we looked at Jose Silva and the Silva method once again, the idea of using both sides of the brain to work and communicate together, identifying a problem or challenge on the left side of the brain, and then finding a corresponding solution on the right side of the brain. Even though this does sound a little bit like the debunked theory of right side versus left brain thinking, it still is helpful conceptually because in the space between logic and intuition is a place where miracles can happen. Annie Gramone has talked to us frequently on the call about trauma and where that lives in our body. And this week, Jim Downs shared that if we dwell on bad experiences, they can crystallize and live in our souls. Fortunately, we can choose where we put our energy. Sometimes we need to be for stuff, and sometimes we need to be against stuff. But when we forget this, life can seem like we're navigating from disaster to disaster. Somebody should have stopped us when we were having fun and pointed out that life was full of many things to celebrate. But instead, we've had the 9/11, the financial collapse, and then the pandemic. But we've also had some good things. We had the fall of the Iron Curtain, the advent of the smartphone, and the end of the pandemic narrative. Why don't we celebrate all of these? Edgar Casey said that know that all strength and healing is where we put our energy. This alone is healing. Whether it's accomplished through the use of drugs, the knife, or whatnot, it's all about attuning the life force with our spiritual heritage. I'm not sure if Mr. T ever saw eye to eye with his neighbors. It's hard to have a relationship when there's a chainsaw involved. We all need to pick our battles and set aside time for celebrating and enjoying life. We can do that by engaging with our life force, connecting with others, and taking the first step into our future. If you would like to join us at Illinois Bridging Awareness, the Saturday call is every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.